Okay, so this is, let me make sure I'm not muted. Okay, I'm not muted. This is a video about completing the square method. And so completing the square method is used for different things. In our class, we are learning to complete the square in order to solve a quadratic equation. And so that is very helpful. Other times we might use completing the square to get a quadratic function into a perfect square form. We're doing that to help us solve an equation, but other times we use that to get it in a standard form so we can recognize it as a hyperbola or ellipse or circle. That is other uses. And the biggest praise I can give completing the square method is we use it to develop the quadratic formula, which is easy and fun to use. So I'm going to show you how we do that. So first I'm going to, the first part of this video will be the method of completing the square to solve a quadratic equation. So here is a quadratic equation. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. That is a quadratic equation. So I'm going to write down the steps of completing the square, and then I'm going to demonstrate that on a couple of different real examples. And then the second part of this video will be using the method of completing the square to develop the quadratic formula. So, and the quadratic formula is this: x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So, all right, so let's see. This is what we're going to develop in a minute. Here's the list of steps. Number 1, here's our quadratic formula. We're going to assume that it is in this form before we start, that there's a 0 on the right-hand side. So the first thing we will do is move the value of c to the right-hand side, and I'm going to abbreviate RHS. Number 2, and we move c by subtracting c or adding c, depending on its value. If this a right here is not 1, if a is not 1, then divide both sides by a. So what we want to work with is a leading coefficient of 1. Number 3, we're going to add this expression, b over 2 quantity squared. B over 2 quantity squared. Now notice we do that after we divide by a. So our value of b may change if we had to divide by a. B over 2 quantity squared to both sides. So when we do something to both sides, we're just keeping our equation balanced, okay? And number 4, then we're going to rewrite the left-hand side, or actually we're going to be factoring the left-hand side into x plus b over 2 quantity squared. And so this is not magic or made up or not right. It is by adding this quantity, b over 2 quantity squared, we have created a perfect square trinomial. So what is existing will factor into x plus b over 2 quantity squared. Number 5, we're going to solve for x by taking the square root. All right, so that's the list of steps. And now we're going to see the steps in action. I'm going to show you the list of steps in actions. We're going to solve. Let's do x squared plus 3x plus 4 equals to 0. Yeah, that's fine. We'll do minus 4. That will get a real answer. Okay, minus 4 equals to 0. And then we will solve one that looks like 3x squared plus 12x minus, I don't know, 7 equals to 0. Then we'll solve that one. Okay, here's two examples. We're going to solve them both by completing the square. First thing is move C. So first, let's say A is equal to 1, right? B is equal to 3. C is equal to -4. We're going to move C to the right-hand side. So we're going to add 4 to the right-hand side. So that's x squared plus 3x equals to 4. The next thing we're going to do is divide both sides by A if A is not equal to 1. Well, you really can divide by A even if A is equal to 1. It is equal to 1. And if we divide by A, it's going to look the same. So we divide by A. There it is. It looks the same. Now we're going to add this special term to both sides. The special term is B over 2 quantity squared. So what that looks like is B is 3. So 3 over 2 quantity squared. Okay, so that is really 3 squared over 2 squared. So this is really equal to 3 over 2 times 3 over 2 or 9 over 4. That's what that equals. So we're going to add that to both sides. When I teach this, I like to write it in this form on the left-hand side and on this form on the right-hand side. They are equivalent. It doesn't matter, but I'll show you why in a minute. So plus B over 2 quantity squared. And to keep our equation balanced, plus 9 over 4 over here. Okay. Now we're going to factor the left-hand side or rewrite it into x plus B over 2 quantity squared. Now, why I like to leave it in that form is because when you do, this will always factor into the square root of this plus whatever you have written in that parentheses, this whole thing squared. That is the truth. That is what it will always, you can't even see that on this, can you? It's pink. Will always factor into that every time. So it makes it real easy. Over here, I'm going to add these together. I have a 4, which I'm going to make a 4 over 1 plus 9 over 4. So this on the right-hand side is really, if I say times 4 to get a common denominator, this is 16 over 4 plus 9 over 4, which is 16 plus 9 is 25 over 4. I have x plus 3 over 2 squared. If you close your eyes and you open your eyes and I'm like, oh, here's a new problem, and here's your new problem, solved by taking the square root. This is what you do. You take the square root of both sides. You say the square root of this is equal to plus or minus the square root of that. This square root and these two cancel each other out. So we're left with x plus 3 over 2 is equal to plus or minus the square root of 25 over 4. So this is really plus or minus the square root of 25 over the square root of 4, which is plus or minus 5 over 2. All right, so what we've got is x is equal to, if I move the 3 halves over, minus 3 over 2 plus or minus 5 over 2. If I split this up, this is minus 3 over 2 plus 5 over 2, minus 3 over 2 minus 5 over 2. Negative 3 over 2 plus 5 over 2 is 2 over 2, or 1. Negative 3 over 2 minus 5 over 2 is negative 8 over 2, or negative 4. The solutions, root, x-intercepts, zeros of this quadratic function are 1 and negative 4. Now, if we look back up at this, some of you might have said, why don't you just factor it? I would love to factor it, except for I wanted to show you how to complete the square. What if you use the quadratic formula? You will get the exact same answers. So this is a nice problem that we can solve 3 different ways. I'm going to do this other one right beside it. And I'm also going to do it by completing the square to show you what that looks like. All right, number 1. Move C to the right-hand side. So I have 3x squared plus 12x is equal to 7. I added 7 to both sides. Number 2, divide both sides by A if A is not 1. And A is not 1, I'm going to divide both sides by 3. And so I'm going to get x squared plus 4x is equal to 7 over 3. All right. Now I have to add my special term, which is b over 2 quantity squared. In this case, b is 4. So if I take 4 over 2 quantity squared, that's what it's going to look like. So that's really 2 squared. So on the left, I'm going to make this look like 2 squared. And on the right, I'm going to go ahead and call it 4. That's because I know that this will always factor into the square root of this plus the square root of whatever I have in there. So that just makes it easy. Just like over here, this will factor into the square root of that plus the square root of whatever I have in there. All right, on the right, again, let's get a common denominator of 3. So this is 7 over 3 plus 12 over 3, which is 19 over 3, x plus 2 squared. Take the square root of both sides. X plus 2 is plus or minus the square root of 19 over 3. So x is going to be negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 19 over 3. And so those are my two answers. You could say negative 2 plus the square root of 19 over 3, negative 2 minus the square root of 19 over 3, but those are my root solutions, zeros, x-intercepts for that problem. So that's a couple of examples of how to solve a quadratic equation by completing the square method. Now, if you ever wonder, is this made up? Are they lying? Is this really the truth? And those are good questions always to ask in math, because in math, we cannot cheat on anything. Everything has to be, yes, that is true. So right here, did this seem mysterious to you when I squared that? Let's check that out. What I'm saying basically is that this right here, x squared plus 3x plus 3 over 2 squared, which is really 9 over 4, is equal to this, is equal to x plus 3 over 2 squared. So we're going to check that out to make sure that nobody's trying to make something up. So x plus 3 over 2 times x plus 3 over 2 is x plus 3 over 2 squared. So if you expand that, x times x is x squared. X times 3 over 2 is 3 over 2 times x. 3 over 2 times x is 3 over 2 times x. And 3 over 2 times 3 over 2 is 3 times 3 over 2 times 2. If we add these two terms, because they're like, 3 over 2 plus 3 over 2 is 6 over 2. So that's going to be a 3x. Over here we have a 9 over 4. Over here we have x squared. This is not unique. This is not like the only time this is going to work. It's going to work every single time, because the method of completing the square is creating a perfect square trinomial. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video. The second half of this video is just fun to me. It is showing the quadratic formula, how it gets developed. So I'm just going to pause in case anybody's like, I don't want to watch that. You don't have to watch that. This is your break. Okay, now we're about to use completing the square to solve this equation right here. The first step is move c to the right-hand side. So we're going to subtract c over. So we have ax squared plus bx is equal to negative c. All right. Second step is divide both sides by a if a is not 1. So even if a is 1, you can divide by a. So we're going to divide both sides by a. So what that gives us is, this is a polynomial being divided by a one term or a monomial. Whenever you're dividing by a monomial, one term, it divides separately into each of these. So ax squared over a gives us x squared. And then plus b over a times x is equal to negative c over a. So we've done step 1, move c to the right-hand side. Step 2, divide both sides by a. Now we're going to add our special term, b over 2 quantity squared. All right, what is in the b position? This is in the b position. So we're going to take b over 2 quantity squared. So we're going to clean that up. This is a complex fraction. This is really b over a divided by 2 over 1. So this is at b over a times 1 over 2. This is a keep change slip squared. So that's going to be b over 2a squared. That's what that turns into. All right, so this is what we're going to add to both sides of the equation. Remember, on the left, when I do this, I like to leave it looking like that, plus b over 2a quantity squared. On the right, I go ahead and square it. So if you go ahead and square it, that's going to be b squared over 2a squared, which is going to be 4a squared. All right, that's what we've got. On the left, you rewrite or factor the left-hand side into the square root of this, x, plus the square root of whatever you see in there, b over 2a quantity squared. That's what it factors into. On the right, we have some addition to get. We need to find a common denominator. In the common denominator, here's my denominator work. I have to add, here's my fraction work. I have negative c over a plus b squared over 4a squared. The common denominator is going to be 4a squared. So I have to multiply this side by 4a in the numerator and the denominator because that's really multiplying by 1, and that's legal. So what happens here is I get negative 4ac plus b squared all over 4a squared, because a times 4 times a is really, this is really 4a squared. So now these are the same, and I can add those together. This is what I get on the right-hand side. And if I want to flip those terms and call this b squared minus 4ac, I can do that. And I do want to, because the negative will be second. All right, now we're going to solve this by taking the square root of both sides. So if we take the square root of this is equal to plus or minus the square root of that. The square root of something squared, these undo each other. So we get x plus b over 2a is equal to plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 4a squared. All right. The square root of a fraction is equal to the square root of the numerator over the square root of the denominator. So let's do that. X plus b over 2a is equal to plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over the square root of 4a squared. Okay, we're getting closer. Now, the square root of 4 is 2, and the square root of a squared is a. So really, this denominator can be rewritten as 2a. All right, so let's get x by itself by subtracting b over 2a plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And so now I want to combine these fractions because they have the same denominator. So I'm going to get x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And that is our quadratic formula. So this would be a crazy way to find the quadratic formula every single time if you choose not to memorize it. But if you chose not to memorize it, you could simply complete the square method to find it. Although that might take a lot of time if you're taking a test. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I think it's kind of cool.